Hi guys, a little bit of help with simultaneous equations from Corbett Maths exercise 295. So we have 5x minus 6y equals 28, 4x minus 4y equals 24. To remember, to solve simultaneous equations, what we would like to do is to add or subtract one of the equations from the other one. So at the moment, if I add 5x and 4x, I'll get 9x. If I subtract them, 5x minus 4x is 1x. So I don't eliminate the x terms if I do that. Let's have a look at the y terms. Minus 6 plus minus 4 is minus 10y. So that wouldn't eliminate the y terms. And if I subtract them, minus 6 subtract minus 4y is minus 6 plus 4y is minus 2y. So that also does not subtract them. So what we need to do is we need to scale the equations. So we need to multiply either one or both of the fractions so that we get the same amount of x's. What we would say is the same coefficient of x or the same coefficient of y. Coefficient just means how many x's or y's you've got. Okay, so I'm looking here, I'm thinking 5 and 4. If I multiply the top one by 4 and the bottom one by 5, I'll get 20x in both of them. And this one, we could multiply by 4 and by 6. Actually, thinking about it, we could double this to get 12 and triple this to get 12 as well. So that would have been a little bit nicer to keep the numbers smaller. It doesn't matter, I went for the x's. So I'm going to multiply every single part of this by 4. And I'm saying that I'm doing that here. I'm saying I'm doing equation 1, which is the top equation, multiplied by 4. Okay, so again, think of it as a bill from the shop. You buy 5 things, but you also take 6 items back, and altogether you pay £28. So if you took back 4 times as much, if you bought 4 times as many things, and also took back 4 times as much, you're going to have to pay 4 times the price. It makes it a little bit harder because we've got the minus sign to picture it, but say we buy an apple and a banana for 28p, then 2 apples and 2 bananas would cost double 28p. 3 apples and 3 bananas would cost triple 28p. So we're quadrupling every single term on the left hand side, so we'd quadruple the right hand side as well. Okay, so 5x multiplied by 4 minus 6y multiplied by 4, 28 multiplied by 4. And now I'm going to take equation 2 and I'm going to multiply equation 2 by 5. The reason why I'm doing that is I want to have 20x as well. So I had a 4x and a 5x. I've decided to make them both into a 20x. So 4x multiplied by 5 minus 4y multiplied by 5, 24 multiplied by 5. Again, at the side, I've said here what I'm doing. So you guys should always be labeling and numbering your equations. You should always be saying what you're doing to get these two equations here. Now I have 20x and 20x. Do I add or subtract them? Well, let's have a look at adding them. 20 plus 20 is 40. So 20x plus 20x is 40x. If I add those two together, I don't eliminate the x terms. If I subtract them, 20 minus 20 is 0. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to subtract all of this equation from all of equation 4. Now the reason why I'm doing that, 120 minus 112 is going to give me a positive answer. So I'm going to do equation 4 minus equation 3. So 20x minus 20x is 0. So we've eliminated the x terms. Minus 20y subtract minus 24y. Well, if we're subtracting a negative, we're adding. So it's really minus 20 plus 24, which will be 4y. And 120 minus 112 is 8. So 4y equals 8, and divide both sides by 4, y equals 2. Right, if at this line here you've done equation 3 minus equation 4, that will still work. Just I'm trying to avoid getting negative signs in because quite often that's where trouble arises from. So if you'd done 3 minus 4 instead, you'd get minus 4y equals minus 8, which would still give y equals 2. Right, next step. So we know the value of y is 2. I'm going to substitute that back into equation 1. I could pick equation 2 if I wanted to. I'm going to substitute it into equation 1. So 5x minus 6y, well I know y is 2, so 5x minus 6 2's equals 28. So 5x minus 12 equals 28. Add 12 to both sides of the equation, 5x equals 40, x equals 8. Now at the end, we can actually go back and put y equals 2 and x equals 8 into this equation, into number 2. So this is just a mental check. So if we substitute our values into there, we should get 24. If we're right, we'll get 24. If we've made a mistake and one of our values are wrong, we will definitely not get 24. So x is 8, so 4 8s are 32, minus 4y minus 4 2's are 8, so 32 minus 8 is 24. So I'm 100% sure that we have that question right. Right, 3f, same idea. Okay, we've got 3x, 3y, 4x minus 4y. I want these to be the same. I want to have either the same coefficient of x or y. It's okay if the signs are different. So in this one, I've decided to actually make the y's the same, but by doing that, I'm going to make the x's the same here because we've got 3 and 3 and 4 and minus 4. So I'm going to quadruple the top and triple the second equation. So again, I've set it at the side here. I'm doing equation 1 multiplied by 4. 12x plus 12y equals, now remember to quadruple the right hand side, because if you don't, it's not going to work. Okay, if you're going to make a mistake, it's quite possible that one of the mistakes you're making is you either forgetting to multiply this or multiply that by the number you're multiplying by. Okay, quite a common mistake. Then equation 2 multiplied by 3. Okay, so 4x times 3 minus 4y times 3 minus 24 and negative 24 times 3. Right, I've actually decided to eliminate the y's this time. I could eliminate the x's. I have a 12x and a 12x, so if I do equation 3 minus equation 4, that would eliminate the x terms. That would be totally okay. If you've done it that way, that's fine. I've decided this time to eliminate the y's just because in the first one I eliminate the x's. I'm just trying to show you that it works either way. So I have a plus 12y and a minus 12y. Well, if I add those two together, minus 12 plus 12 is 0. So if I add them together, I'm going to get 0y. I'm going to eliminate the y terms. So I've said I'm going to do equation 3 plus equation 4. 12x plus 12x, 24x. 12y plus minus 12y is 0y, which is 0. Minus 24 plus minus 72 is minus 96. So 24x equals negative 96. Divide both sides by 24 and x equals negative 4. Okay, now of course we don't have y yet, so we need to go back to equation 1. There is 3x plus 3y equals negative 6, and substitute in our value of x equals negative 4. So there we are, so 3x becomes 3 negative 4's plus 3y equals negative 6. So that's negative 12 plus 3y equals negative 6. Then add 12 to both sides because we want 3y on its own. And then divide both sides by 3 to get y equals 2. Now remember guys, if we go back to equation 2, if we substitute in x equals negative 4, we'll get 4 negative 4's which are negative 16. Our value of y was 2, so minus 4 times 2, so minus 8. So we've got negative 16 minus 8, which is indeed negative 24, which is what we should be getting. So again, I'm 100% sure that we have that answer correct. And h again, I'll go over h as well, similar question. 7 and a 3, a 15 and a 2. I've got decimals on the right hand side, but we're just going to follow the rules that we use for any other question. Just maybe we'll have a decimal in the answer. So here I've decided to make the x terms both into 21x. So I've tripled the top equation. Remember to triple the minus 15y and the 2.5. I have decided to make row 2 into 21x as well for the starting for the first term. So I'm multiplying every term by 7. So if we need to do a little bit of vertical multiplication or a chimney sum at the side to get 38.5, please do that. And then I've got 21x and 21x. Well, if I've got 21 and 21 and I want 0, adding them won't give me 0, but subtracting them will. So I'm going to do equation 4 minus equation 3. Again, I'm trying to get a positive value here if I can, which is why I'm doing 4 minus 3 and not 3 minus 4. So 38.5 minus 7.5. 21x minus 21x is 0x, which is 0. And minus 14y minus 45y, so that's minus 14 plus 45, which is 31. So then divide both sides by 31 to get y equals 1. And then substitute back into, I've actually gone for equation 2 just because the numbers are a little bit smaller. I'm thinking it's going to be less working if I do it that way. I could just as easily have put it into equation number 1, I should still get exactly the same answer. So 3x minus 2y becomes 3x minus 2 equals 5.5. Add 2 to both sides, divide by 3, get an answer of x equals 2.5. And go back up to equation 1, which is the one I didn't use, to do a quick check. So 7 2.5s, well 7 2s are 14, 7 halves are 3.5, so that'll be 14 add 3.5, that'll be 17.5 minus 15 ones, so 17.5 minus 15 equals 2.5. So again, 100% confident I have that answer correct. And that is the video finished.